Hello, welcome to the Sweet Talk. Today is Monday, February 24th, 2020, and I am your host, Kim Matina. I am a technology teacher, a Google certified trainer and educator, as well as a gold product expert for the Google for Education team. And today we're going solo. So I am here to bring some helpful information to you. So without any further ado, let me get started. Um, so this week, well, actually last week, I was posting information about Google Expeditions on Twitter because I wrote a grant and I was able to acquire a Google Expedition AR and VR kit. And I was posting, my updates throughout the whole week, and I've gotten um, some responses, which I thank you, on questions about the kit and how I went about to acquire it, and certain things along those lines. And I just wanted to share some of my experiences and what I did to get through some of my challenges. So, some background information. Last year, I piloted the Google Expedition kit through Google. So Google sent me a kit which was an AR VR kit that had 30 phones, 30 selfie sticks, 30 headsets, a teacher tablet, a router, and we were able to pilot this program for the entire year as long as you give feedback to Google, and which I did. And after the success of that pilot program, a grant opportunity came along, and I applied for it, requesting the same type of kit. And I was granted the kit, granted the grant. I was given the grant to purchase the kit, and which was about $9,999. And so, yeah, it's very expensive, but I did acquire it, and my school purchased it through the grant through Aquila Education. And they have different kits that you can pick from, but the kit that I got um, was the VR and AR kit that included, again, the 30 selfie sticks, the 30 mobile devices for the students, the teacher tablet, the 30 headsets, the the router, and the case, the big case to hold all the equipment. So last week I started to unpack the equipment, and I had a couple issues. So I'm going to just share my experiences with you. Um, so I created because I am the Google administrator for my building, I created a generic Google Expedition student account and a generic Google Expedition teacher account. And they were created within the student and the teacher organizational units in the domain. So then what I did was I started to turn on the devices, and I saw that the devices needed to be updated using the OS and the apps. So, of course, I went in and I updated the apps. I actually, let me back up. Before I did all that, I signed into the device using the corresponding um, generic account. So for the mobile devices, I signed in with the generic student account, and the teacher tablet, I signed in with the generic teacher account. Set up um, the uh, the device, with the settings through the Android OS, and then it came back saying that I needed to update. So I went in and updated the Google Expedition app and all the other apps that it called for. And when I started the Google Expedition app, it didn't work. So I went in and I started troubleshooting and trying to figure out what I had to do, making sure that The OS did update, making sure that the Google Expedition app updated. Um, I went into different parts of the settings and the mobile device and enabled things and disabled things, and I didn't have any luck. So the thing um, that triggered um, my idea was what was common among the devices that I was testing, and the common factor was the generic Google accounts that I created. So I created one generic student Google account for all 30 devices because that was what I piloted last year, and I figured that would have been okay. But come to find out that the account was sitting in the organizational unit in the Google admin console or the Google domain that had restrictions on it. So I had to create a whole new organizational unit just for Google Expeditions. And I had to make sure that and enable Google Play, and I had to enable Google Play Search Console. I had to make sure those two things were enabled for those two generic Google Expedition accounts. And once I did that, I had no problem updating the apps through the Google Play Store, and I had to update the Google Expedition app, and then I had to update the Google Play Services Core AR app. And once I did that, everything worked. I didn't have any issues. I updated the Android um, OS to version 10, which they recommended to do. But all of the other apps that are on the phone, like Gmail and Calendar and Drive, all those apps I didn't update because I'm not going to be using any of them. So the things that I really updated was the Android version of the OS and the Google Expedition app and the Google Play Services Core for AR app. And once I updated those apps, the devices worked fine. And then, I had to go into the settings and configure other things like the date and time and, the screen timeout or sleep, things like that. But um, those were not specific for Google Expeditions. Those were just specific for the device. And after I did that, I um, I had to take the devices off of my school wireless network, and then I had to connect them to the wireless router so that they don't use the bandwidth through the school's Wi-Fi. So I'm using a dedicated router that came with the kit, and those devices connected to that router. And then I forgot the school Wi-Fi because when the dedicated router is plugged in, I want the devices to point and and default to the dedicated router. So all of the devices connected to the dedicated router, and I was able to test a tour. I guided a tour through the teacher tablet, and all 30 devices connected, and I didn't have any issues. So I'm very thankful for that. I also I also took the devices and I put them. There's 30 mobile devices, so I actually have like a lot of closet space. So I took all the devices and put them in baskets. So I have 3 baskets, and I plugged them in. And I also plugged in the teacher tablet in the closet, and they live there. And the case, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to put the headsets in the case and or the selfie sticks, and maybe I have merge cubes, so I might end up making it like an AR VR kit, generic kit for Google Expeditions and for my merge cubes. But I didn't get the headsets yet, so when I get them, then I'll have a little better idea of how I'm going to organize the case. But basically, that was my experience with setting up the Google Expedition kit. The kit that I got again will do the VR tours, which are the virtual reality tours, taking your students on a virtual field trip anywhere around the world. And I got the AR as well, which is augmented reality, meaning that I can bring an object directly into my classroom and have the students explore that object using the markers that come with Google Expeditions. So I opted for that because I had a lot of success with it the year before using the Google Pilot equipment, and I got a lot of positive feedback. So I wanted to keep the same options available for the teachers. So I really can't wait to get it going. Again, I it took me a while, maybe like a day or so, to really troubleshoot, maybe a day and a half to troubleshoot and figure out like where the problem was. But I wanted to share it with you because I did get a lot of um, responses on Twitter about my experience and how I went about to get the kit, because the kit is expensive. And again, it was through Aquila Education. If you go to their website, you can find them on Twitter as well. They have the kits available there, and the price is there, and what the kit comes with. So that was my experience with Google Expeditions, and I'm glad that I was able to share that with you. The next topic that I want to go over with you is Chrome accessibility features. So lately this year, I've given 2 trainings to staff at my district on Chromebook accessibility features and Chrome extensions for special education students, that these tools can be helpful for those students in particular, but really for anybody. So I wanted to share some of this with you as well, because I'm going to be needing these options because I'm going to have to get some type of medical procedure done on my elbow, and it's on my dominant arm. And I am going to really be relearning how to use the mouse and clicking with my left hand. So it's going to take me a little bit of an adjustment period to do the work that I'm used to doing at the pace that I'm used to doing it at. So I'm starting to get myself ready to prepare my devices and with some Chromebook features or accessibility features. So first, I wanted to give a big shout out to my PLN on Twitter. They're great. Merva, Rachel, Lewis, Mike, you guys are so great. You guys, I prompted a question today on Twitter, and they responded back to me with some suggestions, and I wanted to give them credit and pass it along to you guys. All right, my whole show and my mission is to pay it forward and help others. So without further ado, let me get started. So what I'm going to do is I am going to share my screen, and I hope you can see my screen. I'm going to assume you can. Okay, so the first thing that I want to go over with you is if you're on a Chromebook, you can go into the Chromebook accessibility features down here in the menu in the settings. So if you click where the time is in the bottom right corner and you go to the gear, you go into settings. The first thing that you should do, and I don't really know where everything is in these in the settings here in the Chrome OS. So what I usually do most of the time is I search for it. So up here at the top, I just type in what I'm looking for. So I'm going to type in accessibility. And I want you to enable this feature. It says always show accessibility options in the systems menu. This is going to be more like a shortcut. So once you turn that on, then the accessibility option will show in the menu here. See, it's right here. So this is going to be more of a shortcut to get to more common features of the Chrome accessibility features. So the first thing that I really want to go over with you is the dictation. So you can enable the dictation, and a little microphone is going to appear here at the bottom. And if you click on it, then you'll be able to use your words and dictate what you want to do with your document or with your file. So that's one option that you can do. Another option is, let me go back into accessibility, and I'm actually going to go the long way because I want to show you what's in here. So you can enable in the Chrome OS, there's a lot of different options that you can enable, and you can also do this for your students. You just have to make sure with your students that that they log in to the device. And what I would recommend is having them sit with you and going through some of these options, because they may not even want some of these options on. So some of these options are text to speech. You can enable Chromevox. So Chromevox will read the screen to you. And if you enable it, you can read the whole screen or part of the screen by using keyboard shortcuts. Again, enable select to speak. You can do that as well. Text to speech voice settings, you can do this in here and make it customizable. Change the speed of it. All right. Change the accent of it as well. And if you wanted to try a different language, you can do that in here too, because sometimes English is not the first language for some students. There's also contrast mode, so you can enable contrast mode and it will flip the screen colors so that it takes away the white white coloring of the background. Full screen magnifier, that's going to help students who really can't see well. So if I enable that, see how close it comes up, and I can turn it off and it'll go back to normal. Docked magnifier, that basically splits your screen, and then you can hover over your screen and you can actually see the options that you want to read. All right, so that's pretty cool again for students who, or for users who have problems with their eyesight. Dictation, again, I showed you before, it's enabled, and once it's enabled, there's going to be a microphone here at the bottom. Highlight the object with keyboard focus. So when that's on, that's going to put a box around what you're looking at, and it will actually, if you have all the other options on, it will read it to the user. Highlight the text caret when it appears or moves. I don't really know what that does. I don't usually use that one. A lot of the people that see my screen, they like that I have the little red circle, and that's highlight the mouse cursor when it's moving. If I turn that off, see how the red circle goes away? So if I enable it, it comes back. That's good for when you're doing, your lessons and your modeling or your trainings, so people can see where you are on the screen. I leave that on all the time to help the students see where I am. You can also show large mouse cursor, so you can see my finger pointer is larger. Automatically click when cursor stops. I don't particularly care for this one, but if you enable it, what it's going to do is if you hover over something, it's going to click. See? So you don't have to actually click the button on the mouse. That for me takes a little bit of getting used to, so I leave that off. And there's a whole bunch of other options in here, but some of these Chrome OS accessibility features can be very helpful for anyone. But originally my audience was a special education student in my school, and I set this up for him. And once I did that, some of the other teachers liked it and they wanted PD on it, and then I expanded my session to the district. So this was very helpful. A lot of people really didn't know anything about the Chrome OS. They were always looking into buying something or downloading extensions. So you can go into the Chrome OS and you can you know enable and disable things. This document here is basically, and I'll put this in the show notes. This was basically what I shared with the staff, some of the options here, and I just mentioned a lot of these to you as well. So you can check that out. Some of the Chrome extensions that I will be using for my challenge with using my right arm is going to be an extension called uh, Lip Surf. So if you go to the Chrome Web Store and you search for Lip Surf, you can install this. And what's nice about this is that I can control my browser window with my voice. So let me go here. Let me see if I enable this. Now, I didn't test this in this account today. I did this at school and it worked fine. So let me see here if I can get it working here. No, it doesn't want to work. And it could be maybe because I'm recording. I don't know. Let me try one more thing here. Maybe refresh. Maybe I have to refresh. All right. Well, anyway, it would have been nice to show you this. Let me try one more thing here. What if I remove it? And then I'm going to reinstall it and see if that does anything. Okay, so I'm going to sign in. And I have to allow it to use my microphone. Okay, and here it's asking me to, confirm that my microphone has permission, confirm that the language I want to use, and then I can start speaking and I'll see a transcript at the top of the page, which you can see that here. Now, if I want to control my browser window and I want to go to the next screen, it's telling me here at the bottom, say next. So you can see it went to the next page. Again, it went forward with the page. I don't want to keep saying that word because it's going to go to the following the next page. Say that. Let's go previous page, and you can see it's moving as I'm commanding. But what I liked was that I can scroll up and down. So scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll down, bottom, up, scroll up, top. All right, so I really like this. I thought this is going to help me a lot when I'm browsing the web. And another big tip that I found out today through another person, Mike Moreta, he actually told me to use Chrome keyboard shortcuts. So I was like, oh yeah, that's right, keyboard shortcuts, duh, right? So if you hit Control Tab, it's gonna toggle through all of your open tabs. And then you can, select your tab and then you can start working in there. So the keyboard shortcut is Chrome tab, Control Tab to go through your tabs that you have open. And if you need to find Chrome keyboard shortcuts, you can go to this support page here and to go to whatever operating system you're using, your Windows or Mac. And if you click on tab and window shortcuts, you'll see all of the different Chrome shortcuts that you can use in your browser. So yeah, sometimes it was nice to hear that something that simple is going to really make my life a lot easier, because I'm always constantly, just like anybody else, going from different tabs in and out of different tabs all day long. So to me, this is going to be huge. Another thing, another Chrome extension that Merva had mentioned was voice note. So if I go to the Chrome Web Store and go to voice note, this Chrome extension will allow you to, it's a speech to text Chrome extension, which will open up a note, and then you can start speaking what you want and it'll type everything in there. But what Merva liked about this Chrome extension was that it was offered in many, many different languages. So she was interested in Hebrew and it was available in there. So she uses this one. Rachel recommended using the read write for Chrome, and this extension is from Text Help, and it does have a lot of accessibility features in here that can help, with Google Docs. You can, there's a lot of speech to text in here as well, so you can do that. Louis Pertuse said to download the Google Keep app on your phone, which I'm going to show you. So, and I use Google Keep, but I don't use it in the way that Louis had suggested. I use it more just for like notes and quick reminders. But he had said, which I knew this, but again, it didn't click in until after I heard his suggestion. And because I need it now, because of my arm going into some type of medical procedure here. If you download the Google Keep on your phone, okay, so I'm going to just show you my phone here. All right, so I have the Google Keep app, and if I hit the plus sign on the bottom, all right, now it's asking me for a new note. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so if I type in something here and hit the plus sign, you guys see the plus sign there? If I hit the plus sign, I get a menu, and guess what one of the options is? Record. So if I hit that microphone, now I can record myself. Now I can record myself. Okay, and it recorded my audio, and it created a little note, an audio note in the Google Keep app. And if I hit play, it's there. So it's just another way to use the app for accessibility if you need to. Another thing that I'm going to do, but my thing is, like, I know what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be using voice typing commands in a Google Doc and Google Slides in that way. So I'm not really worried about the read write for Google, because I'm going to be using the voice typing commands that's built into the Google Docs and the Google Sheets, the Google Suites, basically. But what I am going to use on my phone more, because this device is going to kill me with my elbow. So I'm going to be using the Google Assistant with my phone. So if I have to text somebody or if I have to make a phone call, I'm going to be using my Google Assistant on my Pixel. This is a Pixel 2XL, and I'm going to be utilizing that a lot more with my mobile device. because believe it or not, the mobile device being on the your phone using the keyboard, I have the swipe keyboard, really hurts. So the less that I do on my phone with my fingers, the better off I'm going to be. And the old fashioned way is still an option. uh, Use your other hand. So today I started to use my left hand. So that's going to be a very big challenge, but it's something that you can overcome. So, you know, we're going to be going through a lot of these slowly. And I have to remember to be patient with myself and not switch over to my other arm that's going to be healing from my surgery. So, with that said, I wanted to share all that with you just so you had some type of idea of some of the Chromebook accessibility features, and the experience that I had with the Google Expeditions kit. What I'm going to do is I have a Wakelet. Let me share my screen. I have a Wakelet collection here on the Chrome accessibility features, and some documentation in here. So I will add some of these Chrome extensions that I mentioned into the collection, and I will put this collection as the show notes on my websites. So at least you have some documentation of what I spoke about today. And if you guys need any more support or suggestions with the Google Expedition Kit, please just reach out to me on Twitter, at the Tech Lady, and I'll try to help you out as much as I can. I do have access to the team, so if I don't know something, I can certainly reach out to the team and ask them as well. But you can always reach out to me and ask me. And what I'm going to do is show you my website, thesweettalk.com. And if you actually go down on the homepage, I will post this episode here on the homepage with the podcast. Um, you can be a guest on my show by filling out the guest form, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Right now, I'm scheduling for the summertime, which is so crazy to think that my show, people want to be on my show. So I'm so thankful about that. I can't get over it. So I'm scheduling for May and to June. Um, you can join the Facebook community as well. Check the schedule. I have some trending episodes here. If you go to the episode page, you can watch and view any of the past episodes that I had on the show. Uh, Check out my Jamboard resources by going to the Jamboard page. You can certainly figure out that I love Jamboard, and it's a great tool and great app. So if you have any questions about that, you can always contact me. But check out my resource. Google Classroom. I'm really really excited about a new book that Alice Keeler and I wrote. It's called Stepping Up to Google Classroom, and it's for beginners. So if you'd like to stay up to date on the status of the book, you can subscribe to her newsletter, which is right here on my page. The book should be out by May or June. And with that said, you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, my newsletter. The Sweet Talk is on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, and Google Podcasts too. And that concludes my show for tonight. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you next time. Have a great night. Bye.